Hello everyone, this is Ryan, aka the Habitual Line Stepper. Just left the gym and the grocery store. I'm just out and about, heading back to the crib, and I thought I'd just shoot you guys a little thought and comment that crossed my mind. Life is what you make it. It seems like no matter what you try to do, there's always going to be some kind of opposition. Somebody's going to disagree, especially when you try to do something positive and something constructive. And you're going to have policies and people and all kinds of obstructions and obstacles along the way as you're trying to move throughout this world, move in society. And this is why in my previous video I said you got to know yourself, and in the older video I said you have to have grit, because the world's going to test you on every step of the way. They're going to challenge you. They're going to in some sense say right is wrong and wrong is right. And you have to be steadfast in who you are and what you know to be true. And I'm not talking about on an emotional level. I'm talking on a factual level. What you know to be true. What can be readily verified from your experiences as well as from actual facts. Because I do believe there's a lot of beauty in this life. I do believe for whatever reason you have people in place who try to make it difficult to explore those things, try to keep you in a box, try to keep you in a certain mind state of, this is how it is and this is how it's always going to be, and this is basically what my experience is going to be, because I'm limited in terms of what I can do and what I can see. But you have to work on yourself. You have to develop yourself. You have to have this curiosity that basically, you know what, I'm going to explore some things. I'm going to put myself in a position where I can do the things that I want to do and see the things I want to see. Because the life is hard. Life is very hard. Unnecessarily hard. Because again, you have a lot of miserable people, a lot of greedy people in this world who have power and position, and they're able to make laws and policy. They're in a position of power. They may be your boss. You have even family. Again, family can be some of your worst opponents. They can be some of the worst people, because they're familiar. A lot of them are broken, and they have no. It's like they have no joy in them. You have to have a very strong determination and focus on what you need and what you want, and don't be apologetic about it. And you have to build this muscle, because it's scary having to go against societal norms and family expectations and other things that I'm sorry, the car kind of did a crazy U-turn, and other things that are contrary to what you're trying to do. Because again, people will have you think you're crazy, because in my opinion, people are like sheep. They don't want to do what's uncomfortable. They don't want to do what's unpopular. And they're also lazy because they don't want to do the research. They don't want to look and see if it's actual facts. They want to go with what everybody else is doing. And it's crazy to me, because it's like you have a brain for a reason. You have your own certain experiences in life for a reason. All these things are used to reference give you reference so you can make good decisions. But because we live in a society, in a world where it's made for you to feel uncomfortable and not confident about stepping outside of societal norms. But that, in my opinion, is where the happiness is. When I got out of these social constructs and the way that the average person thinks, my life became much better. It became vastly better. I wouldn't trade my life for anyone's. I sincerely wouldn't. There's not a person out there that I look at and I say to myself, damn, I wish I had what they had. Not a one. Because I found peace in my life. I'm good with what I've done. I'm not done, but if I was to pass today, I feel that I have done more than most people will ever do in their life. I think I've seen more, I've experienced more, I've built more. And this is not to brag, this is to be factual, and it's about perseverance. It's about realizing that you have something greater in you, and also the curiosity in myself to see what that would be like. You know, it bothered me when I would hear things like, you know, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you know, from people who really didn't know me. But you know, from the surface level, they make these opinions on you, and even from your family, you know, they start, you know, and which hurts the most, because you would think that your family would be supportive of who you are and only impart good things in your life, but that's not the case. You know, you have people who are, again, broken. Just because they can't do something, they don't want you to do it. Just because they aren't equipped to do certain things, you know, they feel like you shouldn't be able to do it. But see, that's why we're so different. That's why we're so different. We're not all supposed to be reading from the same script. We're not. We're not supposed to be reading from the same script, because we're not the same people. We don't have the same experiences. We don't have the same tools. There's a lot of things that we just, you know, what makes us different. And we have different roles and different goals and different things that we are to do in this world. So you have to look beyond what, you know, your parents or the people around you say. And at times, you know, some of your family, they'll say things that are contrary to what you want to do and believe, and it hurts your feelings. And sometimes it's not because they're trying to harm you knowingly, even though it is basically harming you. Sometimes they do it because they don't know. You know, it's something that they didn't explore, because your path is for you. They don't see their path. They only know what they have experienced, what they have gone through. So with all that being said, you got to be fearless. It's okay if you know your parents are looking out for you, genuinely looking out for you, or people around you who really care about you are genuinely looking out for you because they care. They have shown over time that they sincerely care, but they are opposed to what you're trying to do because they're scared for you. That's the thing too. I don't want you to think everybody who does not believe what you believe or share your vision is, you know, an enemy. However, you knowing yourself and you going through what you've gone through and you've seen what you've seen and you have experience, you know, you're making calculated decisions. You've thought things through. You've ironed these things out. Go forward boldly, because no one can instruct you in terms of how to conduct your life. You have to be, there's no booklet, there's no pathway, you know. all the thing I say is that's helped me is I think things through. I'm an overthinker to some extent. But if there's something I want to do, I'm going to research it. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to really find out if that's something I want to do, and how, and what I can do to make it happen, and then I make it happen. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice some things. Sometimes you're going to have to be uncomfortable for a period of time. Sometimes you're going to have to do without. Sometimes you got to walk away from people. These are truths. But these things will strengthen you in the long run. They will make you better. They will make you'll be wiser for it, and you will get to your goal eventually, as long as you're diligent, as long as you're persistent, as long as you're unyielding, and you continue to grow during the process. Because as you're walking through this process, there may be some things you discover you don't know yet, which is all part of it. So you're discovering things and saying, oh shoot, I want to do this, but now this thing came up that I'm not familiar with. These are learning processes. Nothing's easy in this life. Nothing is going to be 0 to 100 like in 2 seconds. You're going to have to be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Realize there's things that you don't know. As a young person, middle-aged person, or an old person, you're always going to be learning. You should always open yourself up for learning. Because like I said, life can be a beautiful thing. But you're going to have to make it beautiful. You're just not going to walk in and everything you do is going to be, roses, sunshine, gumdrops, and all those things, all those nice things. You're going to have to put some work in. You're going to have to do some things. Get yourself dirty. Get in there. I mean, if you want a good life, you got to get in there. You got to become part of it. This is not a spectator sport. This is not something that you just sit back and say, hey, you know what? There's a roll of a dice. I'm just going to take a chance, and see. We'll see how it turns out. No, be an active participant in terms of what goes on with you. What happens to you. Don't be just like a tumbleweed blowing in the wind. Have some say-so what happens to you. Get some power in your hands. Even if it's a little bit of power. I tell you, if you get a little bit of power in your hands, and when I say power, it could be a lot of things. It could be cutting people off, and now you have a little bit more confidence in terms of some of the things that you want to do. It could be saving up a little bit of emergency money, or a little bit of investment money. No matter what the money is, what the dollar amount is, and you decide, this little bit of money makes me feel confident because I know if something happens or if an opportunity comes up, I have a little bit of money to put towards it. If it's health-wise, I'm working out at the gym, it's making me feel more confident because I feel I feel stronger. I look better in my clothes. I feel, for whatever reason, hey, I can defend myself better. All these things. Take all that into account. Like I said, when it comes to power, it doesn't have to be one thing. Power comes in many forms. And so with that being said, you get a little bit of power in your hands, it becomes addictive. You're like, well, damn, if I could do this with this little bit amount, or a little bit of, muscle, or separate myself from negative people, damn, what could I do if I really focused in and decided, I'm going to really, really put the resources I have towards it, put my mind towards what I need in this life in order to navigate it and make it as beautiful as it can for me. And see, the beautiful thing about pursuing your happiness and getting yourself solid and doing what you need to do so you can do what you want to do, the beautiful thing about that is people around you will benefit from it. It's not always about, you, but it's for the people around you. If you're solid and you got your stuff together, other people who are dear to you will benefit from it. Even if you don't give it directly, they don't have your muscle. They're not separated from those people. They don't have the finances that you have, but the confidence that you have, the wisdom that you can impart in them, the opportunities, if you choose to give them, you may motivate them to get to the gym. You may inspire them to, even though I love my parents, they have been toxic to some degree, I'm getting out of this. I got to do what I got to do. You give people boldness because you're bold, because they see they see your story, even if they don't know the whole thing. People are always watching you. I don't care what they say. People are watching you. We're curious beings. We're nosy to some extent. You know, when we're hurting, we're looking for answers. We're constantly searching for answers. We're constantly looking for stuff. You know, seeking knowledge. Even, you know, that's what people do. So anyway, I'm saying in this message, because there's a lot of points in here. This is just something I'm just saying from the top of my head, the things that I feel like I need to say today. Seek and pursue peace despite all that the world has shown you. The people in this world have shown you that are contrary to what you need or want in your life. Make sure that you are focused on those things and work on building a boldness within you and a confidence and a fearlessness in you that will enable you to make the moves that you need to make and do what you need to do. I'm going to end it here. This is a pause, so it's a comma, not a period. Pursue peace at all costs, and let's get it.